Can we use research, sleuthing, and a little bit of artificial intelligence to figure out what the first Lorcana cards are going to look like? Let's find out. Welcome, Lumineers and fans of the happiest card game on earth. I'm going to try something a little bit different today. As you're watching this, it's only a couple of days. In fact, no, actually, by the time you're watching this, it's only one day until we find out what the first Lorcana cards look like. We're going to be seeing that at D23, which is Disney's Fan Expo that's happening in Anaheim this weekend. Very excited to see what they look like. So excited, in fact, that I'm going to try my hand figuring out what they're going to look like, or pretending to know, or whatever you want to call it look like. I thought this would be a good opportunity to take a look at some of the past Disney card games, some of the design work that Ravensburger have done in the past with the Disney IP. We're going to have a look at some of the artists that have that we have now found out have been working on Lorcana. We're going to look at some of their other work, and then we're even going to, just for fun, put all of that information into some artificial intelligence and see what comes out. If you are watching this after the weekend of September the 9th, 10th and 11th, then you don't really need to watch this. So please, stick around, because it's hopefully going to be fun and interesting. But this video is instantly out of date as soon as D23 has happened, because we will actually know what some of the cards are, and we are going to be doing deep dives into all of them here on this channel. So if you haven't already and you are going to be a fan of Lorcana, then hit subscribe. So first thing I wanted to take a look at was some of the earlier versions of Disney card games. There's actually been a few, depending on how you stretch that definition, but probably the most well-known one amongst Disney fans, and arguably perhaps the closest to what we're going to see with Lorcana, is Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom was more of a collectible card game, and it was pretty much exclusively, I think, available in the Disney parks themselves. They would interact with certain elements of the park, and they were really quite fun. They've not only recently been discontinued back in 2021. I think they would finally pulled the plug, and I think there's about 80 or so cards to collect. It wasn't really something that I was too involved with, but I definitely saw them around the place and saw collectors with them. And oh man, if you ever want to know how Lorcana cards are going to be collected, just take a look at some of the prices that Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom prices are going for on eBay and places. Gives you a bit of an idea of what Disney collectors are like. But here we go. You can see here that cards based on different characters. Some of those different characters then have their own spells, and overall, it's not a terrible design. Personally, the only thing I really don't like is that really busy background on all of them that is kind of tied into the character themselves. It's all sort of tessellating iconography, and yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure it's all original artwork, and they're clearly showing you abilities and point costs and different types of spells. We have machine spells and princess spells. And I think this is a really good sort of window into what Lorcana could be for somebody who hasn't played a trading card game before. If you're coming to this purely from the Disney side of things, and also I think that's what's going to be really interesting about the community of Lorcana, and one of the main reasons I wanted to start this channel. If you're coming from the Disney side of things, you're going to have a completely different opinion if you're coming to this from the trading card side of things, if you're like a Magic player or a Yu-Gi-Oh player or whatever. And I think those smushing together is going to create some really interesting debates and communities. But yeah, if you're coming to Lorcana purely from a Disney point of view, this might give you a bit of an idea of what to expect. The card is going to be mostly artwork, but then a good chunk of it is going to be given up to what the card actually does, and there are going to be different types of card. We're going to probably have characters as one type of card, and abilities that those characters can do, like spells, as other types of cards. There might be cards that hang around on the table and affect the whole board state. In other games, these are often called things like enchantments or something like that. Those could be based around perhaps Disney songs or famous locations in Disney movies, or places in real life, such as the castle in Magic Kingdom. But otherwise, I think this is not a bad sort of starting off point as to where these card games can go. There are a few other card games that are technically now Disney, such as Marvel Champions being one of the bigger ones. That's what we call a living card game. But I don't really feel like they're going to really affect this video much, because I'm pretty sure the game started before Disney owned it, and also I don't think we're going to to see Marvel properties in Lorcana, at least to start off with. So instead, let's take a look at some of Ravensburger's designs when it comes to Disney properties. Frankly, Ravensburger nail it with their designs. I'm a big fan of theirs. I've got a lot of Ravensburger stuff on my board game shelf, and Villainous here is no different. For those of you who don't know, Villainous is actually a board game that's licensed by Disney to Ravensburger, based around the villains of the Disney world. The original one having Captain Hook, Maleficent, I think. I forget them all off the top of my head. I don't want to go and grab the box. But then they've had numerous expansions as well that add more to them. I think Ursula is in the original one, maybe. Prince John from Robin Hood. There's a few others. Never mind. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, they have all the different villains in there, and it's your job to win as the villain. And each of it's what we call an asymmetrical game. So each villain has a different win condition, and I think that's another thing we can probably look at with Lorcana. They have said that this is going to be less combative than some of the other trading card games in there, but it's still going to be competitive. So something that we call an alternative win condition, a way of winning the game other than just smacking your opponent until they're dead, basically, is probably something we're going to see a lot in Lorcana. The example I pulled out my butt the other day was perhaps a Snow White card that lets you win the game once you've generated 7 dwarf tokens or something like that. So yeah, but as far as design goes, Ravensburger just nail it. What you're looking at here is some of the cards from the game Villainous, and again, there's probably not as much information on these as you would probably expect from a traditional trading card game, but it still has that very similar layout, the top half of the card being dedicated to some awesome art, some original art here in Villainous, and obviously with Lorcana we are getting completely original art too. But then also the second half of the card explains the ability of the card or what's going to happen, and then you can see there also we've got different types of cards, allies, items, effect, conditions. All of these will have different rules of play and how you can put them into play, and then in the numbers there, various numbers as to how much they cost to play, how many times the ability can be used, or how much sort of health points or whatever metric they want to use the character has. All of these things I would be very surprised if we don't see on Lorcana cards as well. And as far as the design goes, they have this beautiful modern yet Art Deco style artwork. Disney really loves Art Deco styling, especially with villains. You see that come across a lot. I think this is a really great example of perhaps the sort of art and style that we'll see moving into Lorcana. With trading card games, readability is key. Not only do you want to be able to read your cards easily, you want to be able to read your opponent's cards upside down across the table. So having different sort of color codes is really important for different abilities, although as a colorblind person, having color not be the only thing that differentiates stuff is really key as well. So hopefully we see symbols or what have you that can describe the different abilities or costs. So having a look at what Disney have done in the past and having a look at what Ravensburger has done in the past, let's take a look at some more recent stuff with some of the artists. So with the announcement of Lorcana, some sort of NDA must have opened up, because we instantly got some fantastic digital artists start mentioning on Twitter that they had been working on the game. Now obviously they haven't shown any artwork they've actually worked on for the game yet, but we can take a look at their portfolios and pull out some stuff that probably lends itself towards the sort of style that we can expect from Lorcana, knowing that we are going to see that sort of classic storybook art style with a modern twist. First up, Eden Sanders has this gorgeous sort of sketchy style. I'm not an artist. I have done graphic design work in the past, but as far as sort of actual art goes, I'm not anything other than a keen idiot, so I'm probably using incorrect terminology and stuff here, but still, look at the pictures. My face is little in the corner. You can just ignore me for a few minutes if you like, but wow, look at this beautiful artwork of a sort of ninja robotic samurai behind a dragon. This is incredible, and again, I want to point this out, none of this is for Lorcana itself, and none of this is particularly even perhaps finished work. This is just sort of sketches and stuff that I've grabbed from various Instagrams and things like that to kind of show the style of art that some of these people have shown off. I thank them very much for having this stuff on the internet that for us to access. But yeah, look at that, beautiful. I can totally see that kind of thing. I mean, that in the background basically looks like Raya, from Raya and the last dragon. What is that one? I'm so not up on my newest stuff. I'm gonna edit this so I look clever. I can totally imagine that as Sisu from Raya and the Last Dragon, which I totally knew off the top of my head. Here's some more, perhaps a little too creepy for the stuff we can expect in Lorcana, but still great line work. That beautiful sort of dotted shading pattern that's very reminiscent of the pop art movement. I think that guy's name is Lichtenstein. I think I know that one. Roy Lichtenstein, I think. Roy Lichten something. Yes, I was right. I knew that one. You can can you tell this one's unscripted? This one could be pulled straight from a storyboard for a Disney movie we've not seen yet. This guy is incredible. Fishman going in and grabbing fish. This is the exact sort of style I expect from a card game. And I think this will fit perfectly into the Disney world. And look at this one again, you know, a little sort of out there perhaps what we expect to see, but you know, fish in a tank controlling a robotic pirate body. Oh god, give me this on a card and I will play it. It's incredible. Christina Churi probably gives us the best example of what we can expect, because she's done this incredible scene replication. There's a proper hashtag for it on Instagram, I forget what it is now, but this incredible scene from Encanto just gives you an amazing idea of what some of these artists can do with some incredible source material from Disney. This is beautiful. Can totally see this going on a card. We also have some other more stuff from her. This is from Arcane, right, the League of Legends show, but again, incredible line. Obviously just a sketch, but still just beautiful form, beautiful lines. You can totally see that these folks are going to work incredibly well with the Disney IPs. And then finally, Luis Huerta, I believe. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that like a white British man, but this incredible dragons. Look at these again. This could be the announcement for a new Disney film with a family of dragons, for all I can tell. You know, this is so perfect. You know, the art style is incredible. Not only dragons, we have this awesome anthropomorphic tiger here with this big sword. Rocking, incredible stuff, love it. And then this old wise sort of bear, just awesome. All of these could be, and if you told me any of this was concept art for a Disney film that I've not seen, I would believe you. I really would. The only thing I expect to see different from this kind of stuff to the full release of Lorcana is obviously it's going to be, you know, Disney property, but also I think the polish is going to be there more. Again, a lot of this stuff is just sketches they've done and put up onto Instagram. You know, obviously these are going to be commissioned pieces for Disney, so the budget is going to be much larger, and you know, the time and effort put into them is going to be much higher as well. Not to say that, you know, the effort hasn't put into these. They're awesome and obviously a million times better than anything I could do. But talking of better things that I could do better, obviously designers don't need to exist anymore because artificial intelligence is doing it all for them. Moving on then, I thought it'd be fun to go on to DALL-E Mini, which is a web-based version of DALL-E, which is a artificial intelligent picture generator. Really incredible stuff, way above my pay grade. I've got no idea how it works or what it's really capable of, but you can type in a prompt, fish riding a bicycle, and it will bring back pictures that it has generated, not just found on Google, of fish riding a bicycle. There's a really great talk about how this is actually affecting the design community, and if that's something that interests you, I'll put a link to that in the description by an incredible design YouTuber called Linus Bowman. But anyway, I digress. I thought it'd be interesting to type in all different combinations of Disney card game and see what I come out with, and I will warn you now, these will haunt your dreams. DALL-E Mini is a very light version of the program that creates very abstract images based on what you type in. These are a little creepy, but I still want to show you them because they're hilarious. This is Peter Pan on a playing card, on a trading card. You can just about tell it's Peter Pan. One thing that I think is very clear here, and was nothing that I placed in the prompt, but this is a Yu-Gi-Oh card, or at least is derived from images of Yu-Gi-Oh cards online. I don't particularly play Yu-Gi-Oh, and one of the reasons I don't play it is because I don't particularly like their card design. I find them very busy. It's not MetaZoo, but it's pretty busy. But this sort of large amount of text and everything is and this sort of thick border is very reminiscent of a Yu-Gi-Oh card. We also have a Mickey Mouse card that is basically the same thing, a generated image of Mickey Mouse onto a trading card that looks very similar to Yu-Gi-Oh. The one that worked, there was a lot of these that didn't work at all, by the way, that I'm not going to show you, but one of these that actually worked a little bit was Elsa. So yeah, the image is pretty nightmare inducing. This is, like I say, a computer generating Elsa from all the information it has about Elsa on the website and producing something unique, for want of a better word. So it's a little rough around the edges, but I actually quite like this as far as a design goes. It's quite minimalist. There are spaces at the top and bottom for information. You can see clearly where it's trying to generate the spots that we talked about earlier for numbers or costs of cards. Yeah, I don't hate this, to be honest with you. So I thought it'd be interesting. Again, I'm no artist, but I have done graphic design and continue to do some of it in my day job. I thought I would take this and see if I can pull little bits from everything we've looked at today and make a Lorcana card. So there we go. Have I got anywhere close? I'll find out in a couple of days. You'll find out as you're watching this in about 24 hours. And if you're watching this after the weekend, you most likely already know that I was way out. But again, have a check on the channel. There will be videos where we look at the actual Lorcana cards and talk about them in more depth. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Again, make sure you like this video. It really does help new people find us. And if you would like to see more about Lorcana as we approach the release next year, please don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, put that thing back where it came from, so help me. I'm Jonty Sparrow for the Illumineers. I'll see you in the next one.